Back on Get Up, and we have our game of the night featuring the Clippets.
The Clippets, see?
Couldn't even get one sentence in. Damn you, Jay Will, with the distractions. Clippers.
Let's go,
Rockets.
Kawhi.
Here we go. Kawhi Leonard. Big night, Jay Will.
In and out. You got to love the type of tenacity that Kawhi Leonard's playing with.
81-80 lead. Under 7 minutes to go. Rockets trailing by 7. Here's KD Hahn.
How is he 37, by the way? A game doesn't age.
Because he gets to his spot.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, you make it sound easy.
Next Clippers possession off the missed 3 here. Watch Kawhi fighting for that rebound.
Really? Just came to him. But he did a good job with it in the paint. I'll give him that. He had a big fourth quarter, and that was important for the Clippers on the comeback.
Amen Thompson picks up the loose ball, finds Tari Eason, who then finds Durant for 3. Durant finishes with 21 and 8. Rockets tie it at 98. Here we go. Leonard gets it to the rack.
Give him the too small. Give him the too small.
By the way, it was one of the best to ever play in the game of basketball, getting to his spots. Nobody does it better than Kawhi Leonard. 19 in the fourth quarter for Leonard. He finished with 27. Tari Eason comes up short at the buzzer. Clippers come alive in the fourth, win it 105-102. Kawhi Leonard scored 19 of his 27 points in the fourth quarter, making this his 5th game with 15 or more points in the fourth quarter this season, which is 2nd most in the NBA, trailing only Donovan Mitchell. As for Kevin Durant, he had some interesting comments after the game about the upcoming All-Star game and how competitive it will be.
You should ask the Europeans, if the world team, if they're going to compete. I mean, because we look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now. Let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game. Is that competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing, but we're going to question the old heads and the Americans. But these two dudes out there, Luka and Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. These dudes be laying on the floor, they shoot from half court, but you got to worry about the old heads playing hard. I can read between the lines, bro. It's just a overall topic that everybody has just been talking about.
That is a shout out to the production.
So
highlight.
good. Yeah. So good.
Over that.
Perfect. The back and forth, like brothers.
The crew, that's amazing work. That's award-winning work right there. To put those highlights with the words like that.
They don't care.
Tremendous half-court shots. Luka trying to.
Can I tell you what a tremendous opportunity this is? First off, I don't think Kevin Durant was taking a shot at the Europeans. I think Kevin Durant was taking a shot at the media. But unintentionally, what door he just opened is a door that I better see all the Europeans run through. Because my thing is, we're in this battle between European players and American players. It's a real thing. Our youth basketball system is not good. And when you're watching all these NBA MVPs that have been European players, when Kevin Durant says, oh, they ain't taking it seriously, I hope Luka, I hope Jokic, I hope Wemby, I hope all of them hear that and actually hope that gives us the type of competition we need in this All-Star game. It better from their side, Hahn.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, who's dominated the NBA when it comes to MVPs? European players, the international game. The NBA wants to be an international game now. That's who they are catering to more than ever. Who's the next face of the league? Victor Wembanyama, right? An international player who's going to be on that world team, along with Jokic and Luka, who, by the way, KD didn't call out Wemby, but he called out the other two guys, right? He wanted to make sure that he set that tone. And KD's on the team of old heads. The Stripes team for the All-Star game, I know there's 3 teams, just try to keep up. But you got LeBron, you've got Jaylen Brown. Steph Curry's not playing, he's injured. But if he was in that game, now you've got some legendary names playing on that team. That game had better be a brawl. That game had better be about something because KD kind of laid the gauntlet. He let them know that you're the world team. You're supposed to win the All-Star game. You guys had better win this thing because you're supposed to be the best players now in our sport because look at how everybody's talking about how we're the bad guys. We're ruining the game. You guys are saving the game. You better win it.
I've been waiting forever to do this. All right, indulge me for a second. Cindy, could I see C10, please?
Oh, wow.
Could you bring up C10, please?
Channeling his greenie.
To your point, gentlemen, on the MVPs, 7 of the last 8 MVPs born outside the United States. In fact, the last MVP born in the U.S., James Harden, Jay Will, back in the 2017-2018 season when he was with the Rockets.
Well, thank you, Matt, for putting that up. Not Cindy, but that's fine.
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
I like when Greeny said Cindy.
It's okay, Matt.
I didn't know.
It's okay, Matt. You're doing a hell of a job, Matt. I just want you to know. You're doing a hell of a job, Matt. Sorry. You and I have this Petty LaBelle relationship.
Go ISO ball, please.
But, by the way, speaking of Petty LaBelle, this is what I want. This is a real thing, and it needs to be a real thing, regardless if Kevin Durant unintentionally did it or not. Like, we need to find a way, and whether it's the NBA going to NBA Europe, it's whether we're not really talking about the D League anymore, whether we're talking about college basketball. There's something happening where everybody's focused on what's happening in European basketball because it feels like they want it more. It feels like they're hungry. And we live in an age of social media. Let me shoot a shot. Let me post a shot that I shoot. Let me post my highlights. These kids over there, they ain't doing that. So I actually want to see that game come down to that conclusion.
They're playing pro ball at 16 years old, right? Like they're ripping darts at halftime, like with older guys, because you're playing with like 30-year-olds. Like they grow up different than the American kids grow up in the game. They don't have like their personal shooting coach that spends all day with them, and they don't get a lot of 5-on-5. So they're learning different, and it has changed the game. The Euro step, right? It's not the American step because we thought that was a travel, but then it was allowed, and now everybody does it. So it has changed the game. But there is something, though, to be said. What KD's saying is about, okay, you guys taking over the game. You're taking over the league. So now everybody should be more focused on how you play and the things you guys do versus us getting the blame all the time. And that's why I think what he's saying will make the All-Star game, for the first time in forever, interesting. At least it better be. Because if I'm the world team, you have to show up and you've got to win. And if you don't, then the criticism should come.
If we're bringing jobs back to America, let's bring basketball back to America.
Basketball back to America. Okay. I like that. I like that. The world didn't
You didn't
ask
like that,
for
but
it.
that's okay. It worked. It worked.
I liked it. There's a lot of things I just don't want to say right now.
The world didn't ask for it, but you're going to get it anyway. Here comes more Jay Williams. On that note, let's start with this, Jay. Is this Knicks team equipped to make a championship run?
I never want to be asked this question again. Not this year. From the beginning of the year.
Do you know where you work?
Well, I understand where I work, but their whole team personnel has been built to win the whole thing. If there is a moment to win the whole thing, it is this season. Detroit, they have no experience in the playoffs. Philadelphia, Joel Embiid with the knee management, with Paul George out. Like Indiana, I get it, injuries. This has to be the season where they win it. It's win or bust. No other questions needed about the season for the Knicks.
The Knicks are a team that you can't do anything in pen. Everything about them you write in pencil because they really are a team that, and I watch them all the time, I cover them. And you see what they are and you see how great they can be. Like last night, a great example of it. In Boston, a great example of it. But you also can see how maddening they can be. The Pacers lost, the loss in Detroit. Like they had a stretch where they lost 9 out of 11. So it's what can they be? I think they have the widest gap when it comes to their best and their worst. Their floor and their ceiling, it's a studio apartment in New York when it comes to the ceilings. Like 12-foot ceilings, maybe a little space, but that's to me the huge gap in their best and worst.
Rockets have a little bit of that too when you see the way they're getting after Şengün and the defensive
And if they don't win, go get Giannis.
There you go. Shoot the J continues. Why is Jaylen Brown having so much success without Jayson Tatum?
Because I think he has the best coach in the NBA right now, and that's Joe Mazzulla. I think Joe Mazzulla has done a phenomenal job getting a team that's lost one of their best players to be second in the Eastern Conference heading into the All-Star break. And by the way, if there's one player that wants all the smoke, if there's one player that wants to prove that he's the guy that's leading this team,
I can do this without.
It's Jaylen Brown. Well, I don't even think it's about without Jayson Tatum. I think it's more about Jaylen Brown knowing who the hell he is and knowing the quality of the player that he is.
He did win a Finals MVP.
Yeah, he did.
Mistaken. Like he did win a Conference Finals MVP.
Anybody doing a better job than Mazzulla?
No. Joe Mazzulla is Coach of the Year. Like we're at the All-Star break. He's won it. Like you can make cases for others, but he's the guy that has done it because no one has done more with less. And I don't mean that as a slight, but that roster, I defy you to name those players and tell me where they played in college. Tell me where they got them from. Like they have done a lot with a little, and a lot of it has to do with Jaylen Brown's buy-in, but it also has to do with Joe Mazzulla saying we are not giving in on a year that feels like a gap year. We are going to stay competitive because that's the standard here.
You think he's still watching The Town every single day? So it keeps him fired up, man. If that's what works. I don't know why that's so funny. He's the one that said it. You want to keep it moving here? We showed the NBA MVP odds earlier. Cade Cunningham from Detroit. What's the driving force behind his success this year?
Alan Hahn and I were talking about this in the background. It's just his offensive versatility makes him so unique. I mean, the sides, he can get to his spots on the floor. He's always patient, calm, and can deliver. But also, his passing ability is unique. You know, there are few players in the NBA that make everybody else around them better with their entire offensive skill set, and that's who Cade Cunningham is.
He's the engine of everything that they do. He really is the whole foundation of why they have gone from rags to riches where they are right now. And the other thing that you saw in a lot of those highlights, he's got two big bruisers that set really good screens. And that also makes life easier for you. There's a big part of what they do. What J.B. Bickerstaff has done with that offense and making sure that Cade Cunningham is the centerpiece of all of it is great. And now in the playoffs, can you win if a team can take that away? Because now there's no one else that can create for them.
Tell you guys right now, you won't be seeing J.B. Bickerstaff back in this studio when the playoffs come around this year.
He's going to be busy.
No,
he was a real delight to work with last year, too, by the way, if I may say. Mike, could you bring up C30, please? We're moving on. Mr. Williams, we're moving on.
It's Matt.
Damn,
it's Matt, not Mike. Not Cindy, not Mike, but Matt.
All right, look, can I live? Can I live for 1 minute here, please? Phil Jackson had a rule to determine title contenders. If you reach 40 wins before you reach 20 losses, then you're a contender, right? So the reigning champs and the Pistons have both reached the 40-win mark, and the Spurs and Celtics are still in the running as well. San Antonio has some breathing room, but the Celtics would need to win 5 in a row. Alan, this is an idea you brought up to the table today. What do you like using it as a proxy for title contenders, or is this just an outlier year?
Yeah, that's what I want to figure out because, you know, Houston just fell off, right? So they're off that list as well. They got their 20th loss. The Knicks a couple of nights ago got their 20th loss, and that's why this came up because, of course, the Knicks lose a game, and now we have to find all the reasons why. Well, this means they're not going to win a championship, and so the 40-20 Phil Jackson rule came up, and so we did a deeper dive into it just to see only 4 teams, only 4 teams since 79-80 have defied that 40-20 rule. But this year, and I heard Wendy say this yesterday on the show, that he can name 5 teams in the NBA. At least he can name 5 teams that get to the finals in the East, but 5 teams that overall could win the title this year, which makes it feel like less of those years of the past where we had those easy favorites and more of a, is this a little more open? So, again, if the Celtics lose one more and they now are knocked out, are you telling me there's only 3 teams that are going to win the championship and 2 of them are in the West? That's it? I find that hard to believe in a league, in a year like this, the way the league is. And so I think this might end up being an outlier year.
That Pistons team, what's the ceiling for them this season?
I mean, I think when you get to being at the top of the East, it's always progressive, right? So Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, if they get lucky enough to. I think the ceiling for the Pistons and the ceiling for the Knicks are drastically different. The Knicks have been knocking on the door for a while now. The Pistons have had the talent. It feels like they haven't been able to get over that hump. So if the Pistons got to the Eastern Conference Finals, even though we think with their talent they can get to the NBA Finals, there's steps to success, right, in that sequential experience for them. But as I think about the Knicks is about winning the whole thing.
They have to.
They have to.
Yeah.
So I think the Pistons still have more time. I think the Knicks are against it.
Yeah, but I still think for the Pistons there's an urgency. I've never seen a team lose a playoff series and get galvanized by it the way they did. They haven't won a playoff series yet. They lost that series last year in the first round, and that was a war. And they lost all 3. They lost 3 home games in that series. But something about losing did something to them. Where, like, I laugh when I watch them play. I'm like, why are they so mad?
But if they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, would that be a good year for Detroit?
Yeah, of course it would.
Yes.
But
it's not their goal. I understand
the top seed, that shouldn't be the goal.
Listen,
of course.
You two, really good segment there.
We're great teammates.
You're such a child.
NBA All-Star Weekend begins